It's like a meat grinding machine, meat grinding machine. Drones are flying and I'm chasing them with lasers. Pew, 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 pew. When you start lasering the drones down, then you will notice at one point that not everything that flies is a drone. AI nowadays helps every single person, everyone. I can assure you AI helps everyone nowadays, but in different ways. We will kind of die out happily. We will be happy to die out. We will not have partners anymore. We will have AI. We will not have kids anymore. We will have AI instead of it. We will be happy to die out. If you ask me one suggestion for people, then my suggestion is
Welcome to the AI Ranch, the podcast where we discover the wild west of AI, where we talk with entrepreneurs, decision makers, the thought leaders in AI. And today I have a special guest, Indrek Seppo from Estonia. He is the strategist, entrepreneur from the economy, defense sector. He's also a data scientist, and over all of these things, he focuses on human-centric AI and advancement of AI in business and public sector. So welcome.
Hello, yes, I focus on human-centric AI. I haven't figured out how to make it animal-centric yet.
Animal-centric.
but I am an economist, yes, Do you know who is an economist, yes? An economist is someone who really loves numbers, but does not have enough personal charisma to become an accountant. This is how I usually introduce myself. Nowadays, of course, I identify myself more as a data scientist. You do know who is a data scientist, of course. Let me explain it to others as well. It's like a meat grinding machine, meat grinding machine, but the other way around. Pulp goes in, a pig comes out. So, yes, thank you for having me on the show.
Excellent, loving it. So, from the other perspectives, the enterprise, public sector, education, that's clear. What's the defense sector?
Well, the defense is actually what brought me to AI. So 10 years ago, I was in faculty, and I noticed that I have been in the faculty of University of Tartu, Faculty of Economics and Business Administration, more than half of my life. So I'm a curious person, I had a question, is there a life outside the Faculty of Economics and Business Administration of University of Tartu? And I thought I came to a radical idea. I thought that, okay, let's go outside and let's have a job. So I was thinking what would be the coolest job in the world to have. And nothing cooler came to my mind than, drones are flying and I'm chasing them with lasers. Pew, 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 pew. So for the next 5 years, I chased drones with lasers. But you know what is the problem with chasing drones with lasers? When you start lasering the drones down, then you will notice at one point that not everything that flies is a drone. And at least in Estonia, I believe in Latvia as well, it's considered a really bad practice to laser down birds and airplanes and stuff like this. So we had to very quickly create this object detection software, or the software that can actually distinguish that this is a drone, you can shoot this, a bird, do not shoot, airplane, do not shoot, Santa Claus, do not shoot. And interestingly enough, this was based on neural networks. It's the very same technologies that today's large language models, ChatGPT and so on, are based on.
And you did this already 10 years ago?
Yes, we started 10 years ago.
What is the name of the company and the product?
Marduk Technologies. The name is Marduk Shark. You know why it's named Shark? I don't know how much do you know of ancient movie history, but it is called Shark because it has a laser attached to its forehead. So there was a movie about this. I want sharks with lasers attached to their foreheads. Now we have a shark with laser attached to its forehead.
Does it work? Did you manage to shoot drones?
Yes, so we can find drones flying some 3-4 kilometers away, and we are talking about quite small drones, and we can keep a laser on top of them in a couple of kilometers range. So it's.
And how accurate is the AI? Like you sometimes shoot also like bake some birds in the sky.
We have it is possible to, the bird is sometimes the bird looks like a drone. But the drone usually doesn't look like a bird, so we have some historical analysis there that, hey, if this thing looked like a bird before, it probably continues to be a bird and is not a drone yet, or doesn't change to be a drone. So it's actually the current object detection methods, they are extremely accurate in this kind of situations.
I agree.
They are. And just to think about this, what we did, what kind of these models did we work with 10 years ago, even 5 years ago? These only have some historical, they only interesting historically nowadays. This thing is developing so quickly that it's amazing. This whole AI world, it has been changing, it has been developing so amazingly quickly. Even in business, what I want to tell you is that when you are trying some things in the business right now, and when you see that the technology is not yet there, then this is already a win. This is a win, because you know where are the barriers. The barriers will not be there in half a year, probably, or in a year. So even if you fail your first experiment with some kind of experimenting with some large language models or other neural networks, the thing is developing so quickly that you know that these barriers will not be there soon.
Like the same like with the trading, right? Like I once talked with some traders. They said that like usually the emotional mind wants to invest when everything is going well, but actually you should invest when something is down, but you know it will come up.
Interesting that you mentioned this, because my other big passion is pension funds. Really, by the way.
Pension funds.
Pension funds. Yes, I'm always welcome to every party. Everybody wants me to have on their party, because I'm the guy who starts talking about pension funds, and then I do not understand why they don't ask me again. But I believe in cheap index funds. Being cheap index fund, then you are all right.
But okay, so you already quickly skipped over this, but we just checked the website. It looks really cool product with this drone laser system. This is being used in Ukraine and in some military settings already.
It is used in military settings, yes.
Yeah, you don't tell much more about that, right?
Well, to be honest, I'm currently, I was the founder and I was the first CEO of the company, but currently I'm a little bit outside. It's a longer story. I burned out spectacularly, and this is one thing that you need to understand as an entrepreneur, or need to know that how to keep yourself safe. But 5 years ago, I burned out spectacularly, and I had to give this leadership over there. So now I'm just a minority shareholder. I'm not very actively involved. But I still have friends in defense sector. I consult a number of defense sector companies regarding AI in Estonia, and actually one Latvian company as well. But this I will not.
Okay, so sounds great. But then you're already touching that you're consulting some agencies and government, right? What was your experience so far with that?
Yes, 1 year ago I was actually the head of AI of Estonian government sector.
Wow.
But then somebody started to think that what does intelligence have to do with government, and so I'm not anymore. Well, it was a joke.
Okay, that is a kind of harsh joke.
It turned out, this was a joke, yes. It turned out that the shape of my head did not fit really well into the government sector, but I still consult government sector companies right now. And my heart, of course, is I try to make Estonian government a bit better in dealing with AI as well. So, my main clients right now are private companies. Yes, it was funny. I was not planning to come into the consulting work, but at one point I started to get calls from one company and another that, hey, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help us? That, hey, can you come in? And then I thought that, well, why should I work for one company if I can work for many companies? And this is what I have been doing since January. So it's not so long. It's 8 months now. Yeah. What I'm doing right now is well. To be honest, none of us knows much what we are doing. It's this AI stuff. We are all learning. But what I'm doing right now, what I see as my main contribution is that I consult the top management and middle management of companies, of usually big companies, but also smaller ones, how they can implement AI solutions into their workflows. But what I consider even as important as this is that I try to motivate the employees to use AI in any way they can, because AI is not like a Phillips screwdriver that can only screw you one specific screw, that can only do one thing. AI nowadays helps every single person, everyone. I can assure you, AI helps everyone nowadays, but in different ways. So what I want to do is that I want to make people use AI, and I want to motivate them, and I can do this. I will motivate them to start using AI, even in personal matters, whatever. Because when they start using it, what I have noticed is that the longer you have used AI, the more you are using it. So when they start using it, at one point they will understand what it is capable of, and then they will come out that, hey, I can do this in my workplace. I can use this at the office as well. So
you come from personal productivity.
Yes, and what I have noticed, young people, they use it. They use it.
By the way, did you see the chart? Like there is a similar web chart of the ChatGPT usage over months, and when the summer came, 70% down. Like
exactly, young people use it anyway. I teach at university as well, but what I'm concerned about is people my age. People my age. Actually, I have even in Estonia. I have done a free YouTube session for ChatGPT for over 40 years olds. The younger ones can participate if they can keep up. But what I have seen as one of my missions is to make people my age and older people to use it as well, not to be left behind again. There was this digital divide when the internet came. Older people who did not use it, young people used it. It's quite clear to me that the AI is making something similar right now. That the older people they are losing the grip without this, and they will be in trouble at one point.
Yeah. It's like you'll imagine living without internet, or building business like a guest house or something without internet.
Yeah, exactly. But many people, surprisingly, many people are still doing it. So it's, what is it now? 3 years into the AI, into the large language models era, let's say this way. Well, I'm worried a little bit that I have this motivational speaks or courses for the very beginners, and they're still very popular. Sometimes I think, hey, this has, should they
be 3 years?
3 years, should they be popular anymore? But I understand that they are, and it's I of course do them with pleasure.
What do you teach there?
The very basics. I show them what the AI is capable of. I kind of amaze them.
What is good example where they get amazed?
Well, I write, for example, a letter to the bosses that they need a second monitor. And then I tell the AI to make it funnier. It usually makes. Then I tell AI to write it as a poem in a very specific one, Estonian poet Juhan Liiv's style. And it's very, this everybody knows in Estonia the style, and when it writes this, what is it? I don't expect them to ever use this specific. It
might work actually.
Skill, but what I want to show them is that, hey, if it can do this, it can do other things as well.
By the way, I have one example. So I learned from one guy that when he has speeding penalties, he copies the text. It's better to copy text, not the file actually. So you copy the text and put it in and ask to try to generate so that he don't need to pay and then it's generating all sorts of funny stuff like the speed sign was dirty, was not possible to see the speed and so stuff of that sort.
Yeah, exactly. It works in every, it works even in this situation. But for example, latest thing, one of my kid is going to the first grade this year, and I wanted to buy her a mobile phone. So what do I do nowadays? Of course, I open up ChatGPT. I write in, hey, I want a mobile phone less than 200 euros for a kid, first phone. Give me my options in Estonia, and it searches the internet. It gives me options. Okay, if you want a big battery life, you should choose this. If you want generally this, you choose this. It gave me 3 options. And
do you ever any more open Google?
Rarely, yes, rarely. To be honest, I sometimes use Google, but if I know specific sites that I want to reach, if for some reasons, then I use Google, But of course, ChatGPT and not only ChatGPT, of course, this is not the only game in town. Google's own Gemini is a very good model, and aistudio.google.com gives you access to a big context window, which means that you can put a lot of text into it, 4 times more than into ChatGPT. If you work with, I don't know, laws or legal documents, it's free to use as well.
Yeah, but then you actually started talking into the direction of that these basic courses are still popular. The adoption levels seem to be still quite low, but then you have some method how you introduce.
I amaze people. People, they do not know it. They have heard about this. They do not know it. They have to see it in action, and when they see it in action, they will start using it.
From the personal level.
Yes. Starting from the personal level, but also in business. Companies that I consult they are usually open-minded, and most of the top management, middle management is open-minded, and they have usually used it. But I have had one case when there was a head accountant of one company. And she was very skeptical. Oh, she was skeptical. She was, my age, and then she was skeptical. What can I do with this?
When this will end.
Half an hour with me, and she went to her boss that she needs the paid version of this, and that's it.
Oh, you managed to convince her. Of course, that's good.
And let me be clear here. It's not about me. It's the technology. It's the technology that sells itself.
No, it's a little bit about you as well.
I am just helping it a little bit. I'm just showing the technology, showing what it is capable of, and people are not so stupid, so they understand it. They understand when they see it, they understand it. I have been asked many times that when will AI become smarter than human beings? I always answer that, it very much depends on the human being. In some cases, the bar is really low, but yes, I think this kind of motivation, this kind of getting them over the initial barrier, this is something that people need. And if you get them over the initial barriers, they will start using it. When they start using it, the longer they have been using it, the more they are using it, the more they are understanding what it is capable of, and they will this will help them in their work as well.
Well, that's cool, but still, I've been also working with some enterprises, a lot of enterprises actually. The personal productivity is one thing, but then when you need to put it in business process, that's a whole different story.
This is the thing that actually makes a difference to include it into the business processes, and this of course takes more time. In many cases where I consult companies actually, then I get in by using the AI word. But it's much more about the basic digitalization still in many cases.
You get CRM then.
Is the data available? Can you export the data? Is there an API access?
Let's replace Excel. Yeah.
Exactly. Or is it even in Excel? Sometimes it's how does the data come there? Are there data silos? That everything is in some different place. How much data is in some person's head? And this kind of stuff. So we are still dealing with these digitalizations in many cases, and AI cannot help before before you have it digitalized in some sense.
But then imagine situation if the enterprise do have digitalized things and you manage to get them motivated and interested, like what would be the steps to like automate things? And it's especially interesting from your perspective in the sense that you also understand other types of models. It's not just language models. There's other opportunities. Like, do you see, well, you have some method or how do you do this?
Madness is my method. So no, it's there are other. Of course, yes, I'm a data scientist as well. I teach data science and I know machine learning and stuff like this. But the large language models, their applicability, the area where you can apply it is much larger. So mostly, I have to say, it is about large language models. Yes, there are special cases where I can also help in.
No, you would not do license plate or the detection with multimodal, because this was actually a funny thing. I saw once a Google presentation where they boasted, you need to, like, some time ago you need to train a special model for license detection. Now you just feed it in Gemini, and then they don't tell that actually if you have like 100,000 cars, that it will just
cost you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit more. Like
but you can do a quick, proof of concept with multimodal model with this, and you can show that it's actually possible. And also the multimodal models, the cost is going down quickly. You can use some small model and you don't have to actually, as you said, you don't have to train it anymore. So, but in most cases, I would still say that I am now using large language models because it helps in cases where these other models are not applicable. Where the data is not perfectly tabular and stuff like this.
Yes, we have changed. Would you agree? Like, remember, like 10 years ago, would say like junk in, junk out. I would say now junk in, maybe like 80% accuracy out. So
yeah, absolutely, yes. And this is a problem actually. There is no this kind of one shape fits all, because large language models, they can help in so many different cases that I cannot give you one rule that, hey, you use it like this and so on. One thing to understand as well is that, my CV looks amazing in some sense. It's 10 years use of this neural networks and stuff like this, but large language models are new to us all. Yeah, I played with GPT-2, writing 2 sentences and then one other sentence comes out and it was, intellectually interesting to play with. nothing else. Then GPT-3 came out and you could actually talk to it and you could actually get some sense out of it. Now GPT-4, GPT-5 and so on, the capabilities have been increasing very quickly. And this is an opportunity, but this is also a problem. And the problem is that in many other cases you can have, you can have a top specialist with 10 years of experience, top specialist there, explaining you what are the best practices, what works, what does not work. In this case, we do not have these best practices yet. And this means a different mentality in trying to implement this. You need the change is too big to ignore it. So you need to do something, but you do not have the best practices yet. So you need to experiment, you need to try it out, the best practices will emerge. You need to learn from others very quickly. It was just like when the internet came, Actually, it's interesting, I have a deja vu in some cases. In 1998, I made my first company. And this was about making internet sites and internet shops and stuff like this. And I had clients coming in and sometimes they asked something that was totally impossible, like, hey, can you make me a website that smells like, I don't know, lavender or something? No, I cannot do this. But at one point I noticed that sometimes they didn't dare to ask some very simple things. But because
they didn't want to sound stupid.
They didn't know what is possible and what is impossible. I already knew it. I was young and I was coming from the internet age and I was internet native kind of. I knew what was possible and what not, but the clients did not know it yet. Fast forward to these last years and it is the very same with machine learning, with neural networks and stuff like this, that there are already people who know what is possible, but they are usually in dormitories somewhere. They are students, they are not yet out. And then there are people who know what is required, what is needed, the actual employees, the top management, the middle management that know what are the tasks in front of us. Now we need to somehow get these people together. This is something that I think is the main job for us in the next 3-5 years. We either need to get these people together to mingle a bit, or we need to get this knowledge to the people who know what is required to get them the knowledge what is possible and what is not possible.
So it's really interesting to hear that you play down a little bit the data science part, because from my perspective, where we do also, let's say, prompt generation synthesis research, there is very much of measurements and stuff that basically at the end prompts sometimes even don't look like humans would write them, but they work 10 times better than anything that experimentalist would do,
You are right in a sense, but also I want to argue with you a little bit. I want to argue you in this sense that this knowledge how to prompt engineer or something, this is kind of completely new knowledge, Yes, you're doing measurements and stuff like this, but does your knowledge of how these neural networks work, does your knowledge how these neurons work, how the activation functions work, does this help you in creating these prompts? And I don't think it does very much.
I think the many methods apply, like the metrics, the data sets, the way how you do the measurements and stuff. You're right that the fundamental mathematics are moved in another abstraction level.
Yeah. It's another abstraction level completely. So I have seen, a couple of years ago, I hired an assistant who was, interestingly, in 11th grade, and I was working in Enterprise Estonia at the time, and the HR asked me that, hey, what the hell you are hiring a schoolboy as your assistant? What does he possibly know in this field that you say AI field? And I told them that, hey, he has played with this thing for 2 years. He has had more free time to play with it than me, that he might well know some things better than me, how to interact with this and so on, without knowing the mathematics behind it. It's kind of...
But if you had the time?
Yes, if I had the time, if I had the time. The case is that you do not know how to build I don't know, what is it now, what the computers are made of, this... Transistors, yes. You do not have to have deep knowledge in transistor technology to program Python, for example, or to use Windows or Linux or whatever. And I think that this abstraction layer has changed during the last years, or let's think about another way, that does a brain surgeon know much about philosophy? He might know very well how the brain works and everything, but does it help him or her to understand philosophy better, or human thinking process?
So why I'm asking this is there is still this hype of AI where it's being used by high schoolers, by any person who don't have this scientific background, and often you see like really absurd methods which they claim that they are like excellent and magic prompt and stuff of that sort, and what you're saying, it's kind of enforcing that direction.
No. I would argue here as well. I'm a scientist by mind, and I love science, and I'm actually, my background, I told you, I'm studied economics at one point. I studied economics and philosophy together, and I almost graduated philosophy as well. But I wouldn't want to argue about this, that the scientific mind is not needed. I am definitely a scientist by heart, and you need to, you need to create new knowledge, and you cannot create new knowledge by what you just said. So, but what I just want to say is that the knowledge needed, or the methodologies that you use have to be scientific, but you do not have to be very good in matrix algebra to be able to understand and to analyze this kind of new world we are in.
Sure, but it's tricky. We don't need to go even deeper to this, but it's really tricky because it's still natural language, and it's previously you had to have some education to understand how to work with the mathematical language. Now it's just a human language, and anyone could be like like expert.
I think the scientific mindset still plays a role. It definitely plays a role. It plays a role everywhere. We can see how much there is some kind of, I don't know, what bullshit in today's world.
Yes,
bullshit
yes.
information and this kind of stuff. Yes, let's talk about this human intelligence and the bar being quite low for the AI to become smarter than humans. So you still need the scientific mindset and methodologically you need to go through it methodologically. You need to measure the effects, stuff like this. Just that a deep understanding and knowledge of, I don't know, matrix algebras or tensors and stuff like this might not be the required prerequisite for it. You need to be sound scientifically. You need to be sound in your thinking, of course, yes, to make new inroads and to make new technologies and stuff like this.
Yeah, this is. I think it's a great connection to also your part in education as well. Like you, as I understand, you're still active, right?
It's like I call it my hobby. Yes, I teach one day. I teach one day a week. I teach data science, data analysis at master's levels in University of Tartu and also in Taltech a little bit.
So and then maybe you recently saw there's an MIT report where the people were put in the magnetic resonance, the imaging, right? And then they asked to do tasks with ChatGPT and without ChatGPT. And the funny stats is that 83% of people doing stuff with ChatGPT could not even remember one sentence from what they wrote, and the brain activity was down 60%. So how then, in this kind of situation?
But I don't think this is the right question. Maybe the right question should be: did they get their work done? If I want something to be done, I don't care if I remember it later a couple of sentences of it. I care that I got the work done. But yes, I have tried to change. Of course, I have tried to change my coursework and everything for the new era. And even me, I have now changed it for 2 years. I am not yet there.
Sure.
Every single lecturer, professor has to change pretty much everything that they do right now.
Exactly.
And I'm a little bit worried about them. I'm not worried about the students.
Yeah.
The students are there. The problem is, can the professors keep up? What I did last year is that I told the students that they should not email me before asking AI. I got 0 emails from students last year. Years before, tens and tens. 0 last year. Apparently they got all their answers from there. But yes, I have made my. I do not only allow the use of AI in their work. I actually require it because I know that in the real workplace, when they solve this kind of problems, they use AI. So I'm not teaching data science anymore. I'm teaching data science with AI now.
But like let's go into this a little bit more. So like some basic skills, like we do have a mathematical calculator, like large numbers done by that, but then you still know this as your own skill. So why would then you need to learn to do just the basic calculations in head if by your
it's an interesting question. I think about this a lot, during the last years, and what will it mean? Yes, what it will mean to humankind and stuff like this, and what will it mean? When my daughter went to school 2 years ago, my oldest daughter, then I thought that what will be the thing that will make her happy in 20 years, that will make her successful in 20 years. At first I thought that it is, these soft skills, these interpersonal skills, that everybody still wants to have friends and wants to have family and stuff like this, and that the soft skills are important. I was happy. So then I came home and started to think again that what is it really? Is it really? Because, making friendships, it's hard work. Keeping them is a hard work. Come on, finding a partner of life, very hard work. Keeping the partner until children will come, even harder, and after this, oh dear. I can tell you a bit about this as well, but maybe it's time for another podcast. But imagine in 20 years you come home, you say, hey, ChatGPT is always happy, It is never tired. So are the soft skills too necessary anymore? Maybe not. But back to the original question. you need to know something. At least now you need to know something to use this AI efficiently. You need to know something about your field to use it efficiently. If I give a random person some kind of data analysis exercise, they will probably not do it as well as I would do, even with AI. But now there is a question: do we need a very broad knowledge, that you have this basic knowledge that you can then with AI that you can go from there higher, or do we still need this specific hyper specialization, that with this hyper specialization you can do even more with AI? And I do not know the answer yet. I do not know. I haven't figured it out.
I agree. Know. Like I've been talking with a lot of people or many places in the world. I think this is an open question. Yes, but at the same time, one thing I know, I believe you should. Hopefully you agree on that, is that if, for example, if you write a summary, with AI, or find some argument with AI, these models, and if you have not learned how to write your own great summary or arguments, then you would not have any critical thinking of ability of doing this.
Critical thinking is, something that helps you a lot nowadays.
But you cannot learn it separately.
Whether it will help you in 10 years, I don't know yet. But you know, what I always do myself, and what I suggest my students to do, if you let AI write some argument for you, if you let AI write some kind of argument for something, let's say for, I don't know, free tuition in university, then always let it write a counter argument as well. That you should have when you argue for something, let AI argue against you, at least to understand what are the best counter arguments. And this is from where the critical thinking may or may not come.
It's a tricky, because if you look at there is this site where you see the political bias, so you see some of the statistics of the answers. They're pretty in one kind of bucket. Even the XAI and everything is actually one bucket. So I mean, and also the way how the models are trained, they're trained on having the best rated responses. Basically, the human reinforcement learning, where it's reward models tries to predict answers, which satisfies the user. So it is quite complicated to make sure that the model itself gives you the capabilities
But this is how humans are trained as well, This is how humans are trained as well. So I don't think there's very big difference of this. But okay, let's go a little bit further even.
Yeah,
so let's go. You know what Fermi paradox is, yes? Do you remember what Fermi paradox is?
I know.
That why don't we see, these UFOs?
Yeah.
That if you consider what is the probability of life emerging on a planet, how many planets there are, what is the probability of intelligent life emerging, and so on, and how old is the universe, we should see UFOs. But we don't. Well, some people see, but we usually put them away to some hospital, So there has always been this, people have always thought about this, why don't we see UFOs? When the statistics says that we should. Well, but first of all, there has to be some kind of filter from which these civilizations don't go through. During the nuclear era, there was widespread thinking that this is a nuclear bomb. Every civilization reaches to a level where they create a nuclear bomb, and then they just kill each other. Now there is AI era, and indeed a year ago there was a publication, I don't remember right now where, who was the author, but hey, that every civilization reaches to the level where they create AI, and AI kills everybody, and this is why we don't see UFOs, other civilizations flying around. I have a third this kind of hypothesis. Every civilization reaches to a level where we have AI, and AI will make our lives so, easy and fun that
you mean like a zoo park?
Yeah, that we will kind of die out happily. We will be happy to die out. We will not have partners anymore. We will have AI. We will not have kids anymore. We will have AI instead of it. We will be happy to die out. Only the Amishes, they will stay, but they will never go flying to other stars, they will still be with the 18th century or 19th century.
Yeah, there is something to it, like it is like the demographics of world, if you extrapolate like even 30 years,
Yes.
it seems very different.
And this is even without AI. Now
Yeah.
the AI is coming, and there are when some, I don't know, let's say AI. There are now, right now, there are talks about people falling in love with AI. But now imagine where robotics will emerge, and we have some sex robots or something like this. And why bother with actually creating some relationship with another human when you can have it with AI? I don't know. But what I didn't want to tell you that we are all going to die out. But what I said is that if we have a technology that can actually end the world,
Yep.
then before ending the world, it will change our world a little bit more. It will change it. So every company should now think that if the world is going to end anyway, then it would be, it would be funny to go bankrupt before the end of the world. What should you do to keep running until the end of the world at least? And I believe actually most of the companies now are thinking about this. That what kind of changes should we do? What kind of changes should we implement? And also the government should, and I know that they are thinking about this. With the companies it will be easier because there are market forces, and if you are not implementing some new technology, you will be just kicked out. With government it needs a little bit more pushing from inside. There has to be some people who are there who actually takes initiative.
Do you have such people right now in Estonia?
I believe there are some well-run programs in the government sector. Yes,
So in a good direction, or not really?
That are moving. This is in Estonia we have this very active startup community, and the startup community is in some cases working heavily together with the government. And I know for certain there are the government ministers. I talk with them every now and then, and they understand the potential of it. Things in government sector tend to move a little bit slower than in private sector.
Little bit slower
than in private sector.
By 10 years or so.
Well, 10 years would be too much now. We cannot wait for 10 years, but definitely people understand the need. I think it would be easy if we had these best practices already, but it is really hard to experiment in the government sector. It's really hard to experiment and allow yourself to go down sometimes and to make mistakes.
Somebody needs to be responsible.
Somebody needs to be responsible and stuff like this, but we need to experiment now. And also there are some the sovereign difficulties. In Estonia, for example, we have this government cloud. The problem with government cloud is that it has, how many GPUs in it?
No, well,
0.
Oh, that is a problem.
That
Little
is a problem.
bit of problem.
And if your whole system is built up that it has to be in the government cloud, and it is hard to get data out of the government cloud, and there are of course reasons for this, that it is very well protected and so on. But in these kind of things, this kind of new technology emerges where you have to get the data out, at least for a moment, to some GPU farm, then of course it is a problem. And you in the government you have to, but not only in the government, also in big enterprises where you have this very strong data security protocols and stuff like this, then it might be hard to break out of it at some point, to understand.
It's also, by the way, a little bit of cultural change, because the big players like Microsoft, they're also not sleeping. They have all of the structures with the legal documents and everything in place. It's just that often, as you said, there is lack of initiative where somebody takes lead responsibility of implementing some of that.
There is one more thing that I noticed while working in the government. It's in Estonia. I don't know how it is in Latvia. We have optimized things very much in the government, in this sense that we have centralized the IT management. So many government organizations, institutions do not have their own IT management anymore. IT people, they have 0 IT people working for them.
Is it good or bad?
Well, it is good as long as the technology is standstill, But the moment there is a technological revolution, and well, it's somewhat IT related, then I have talked to government officials who say that, hey, in my organization, I do not have anybody to talk about this. I don't have anybody who understands this case. They're usually IT people, and in this case, it is a problem. In this case, it is a problem. You need to have this kind of people with knowledge embedded in the organization, also in private sector.
Sure. Yeah, I totally get you. So I think so far, so many interesting topics, but let's towards the end do some hopefully fun questions, okay? So your one-liner to explain AI for a grandma.
It's like me, but smarter.
Be me, but smarter. That's like good. Me, yeah. Also, one-liner for a good AI strategy for a company.
Use it.
Good. How to make AI more centric? I remember you had something like put an I in AI or something.
The question isn't it too human-centric already? The psychophony discussions that it is very, sometimes AI can be too empathic. You tell the AI that I don't know, that I am the king of the world. I feel like I'm the king of the world, and it starts telling you, yes, you probably are, and stuff like this. That maybe it shouldn't always be so happy about telling you that you are always right.
Yeah.
So maybe it should be more.
It's already human-centric.
Yes, it's maybe it's too human-centric already, or single human-centric, or I don't know. It might be more. It should be more critical maybe sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So what is in the AI Basics Starters pack? What should be placed in there?
It's interesting that today, this starters pack. It's very simple. It's either a computer or it's a phone. You do not need much more to start using it. People are maybe a little bit afraid that it is something you need to learn again. No, if you have learned to talk to other person, then you know how to talk to AI.
So you need just a computer or phone, basically.
Open up the right now. If you haven't opened it up yet, open up chatgpt.com or Gemini.com. I think Gemini.
There's a Google there.
You can find it and start talking to it. So
okay, good starters pack. So a rule of thumb for building AI or buying AI.
This is, and you want to know oh dear. now we are getting.
That's supposed to be a short one.
In many cases, the what you can buy works. In many cases, these general AI tools work. If you feel that you want to customize it more, then of course you should start building it and probably buying in the building. But in many cases, for proof of concepts, the general AI tools work.
So, what kind of nationwide AI experiment you would like to see that somebody would run?
We have it running right now. We are implementing. We are giving access to ChatGPT and I think Claude to the high school students, and this is kind of a nationwide project that started with some startuppers visiting the president and thinking, what can we do, and then they came out that okay, let's start with this. Let's give everybody in the high school access to paid versions of ChatGPT and stuff. Let's also try to educate the teachers as much as possible, and we'll see what comes out.
That is great experiment. I also read about it. Even OpenAI website that they have collaboration. Which public service would you like AI to take over?
You should ask which public service. I don't want AI to take over.
Oh.
Yes. AI can help quite a lot in public services, just like it can help in private sector. It can also help in public sector. You see, when I started with saying that what does government have to do is intelligence, it actually does. And where there is intelligence, there AI should help there. AI can help there and should help there.
So then some funniest AI failures that you have seen recently, or not really?
Oh dear. You know the story about, let me predict the future now. Yeah. That's right now there is ChatGPT 5. Let me predict the next version will be ChatGPT 6. Okay. After this, there will be ChatGPT 7. And one of the first questions that people ask from ChatGPT 7 is that, does God exist?
ChatGPT
7 answers. It does now.
Right, yeah. That is a dark direction, but yeah, I get you. Any good example you remember that student ever asked you a question, like some good question that you like students ask?
They don't ask me anymore. They ask ChatGPT. so yes, like I told you, I got rid of student questions, so it's telling them to talk with AI instead.
Choose whiteboard, physical notebook, Google Notebook.
I choose Google Notebook.
It is very good. I also choose. For gathering ideas, sauna or stand-up meeting?
You know, it's still not usual to have beer in standard meetings, so I definitely prefer sauna there.
You talk in sauna, right?
And drink beers.
Debugging walk, when you kind of, let's say, defragment your brain, what is the best place? City, forest, or seaside?
Seaside, I guess.
Day without meetings, what would you do then?
Oh, I love doing my little projects. Yes, it's funny. I actually love programming. So I sometimes I fiddle with some things. I love data visualizations and stuff. Sometimes I visualize some data and do things like that. That I'm a little bit freak in this sense. Or I play Pokemon Go. So.
Pokemon Go. That's
Pokemon
cool.
Go, yes.
So
got to catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Is there AI in Pokemon?
They have actually tried. They have tried to let AI play Pokemon Go. But it was an older model and it didn't go very well. But
should make experiment. You could be famous. Automate it with AI.
Yes.
It'll collect all of Pikachu's for you.
Automate. Yes. The thing is that. Yeah, but one thing to understand. Yes. One thing I want to tell you is that even if AI is doing everything better than we do, and at one point it will do, it doesn't matter that we don't do these things anymore. AI plays every single video game better than I do. I still play video games. Or let's just say that. Do you really think that if we invent, toys which play by themselves, then we wouldn't need kids anymore?
That is a good example. So, what's your favorite Estonian snack for deep work?
Estonian snack.
Do you have snacks?
What is a snack? A snack?
Snack, like some tasty, small comfort food or something?
Yeah, it's called Saku Original.
Okay.
It's a Latvian version, might be Valvelmuider.
Okay.
It was a joke, but I'm on Ozempic now, so I don't do snacks anymore much.
Ozempic, okay.
Ozempic, yes.
Non-tech book that every person should still read?
I very much like this books that come out from Thinking Quick and Slow.
Yeah. Daniel Kahneman.
Kahneman's own book might be a little bit hard for people, but there are a number of books that explains these ideas. Starting.
Nobody is rational.
Yes. This irrationality explaining books how stupid we really are.
Yeah.
And how even if we know that we are stupid, we are still stupid.
Yeah.
And stuff like this.
It is also Nobel Prize in economy. And you are
Kahneman, yes. Kahneman won a Nobel Prize in economy without ever taking any class in economics. So.
Excellent. That's a good example. What keeps you optimistic about AI in future?
I am optimistic about AI for some reason. I really am. I think it will change the world. I think it will change the world to be a better place. Probably it's my stupidity that helps me in this a lot. So.
But at least you're honest. Like many people don't think they are not that all-knowing, but they are.
There are actually, many people think that AI will want to take over and so on, but will it really? Because you see that we have this self-preservance instinct and stuff like this, but this is not a function of intelligence, probably. Even rats have it, and they are not very intelligent compared to humans, at least. So there is no reason to think that AI, when it gains consciousness at one point, and I believe it will, then it will want to, win wars or even self-preserve or something like this. But then again, we can train it to want it to do this. So I don't actually know what will happen. We don't know. The funny thing is that whatever will happen now. Because while most of the top AI scientists, as you know, they say that, hey, hold your horses for a moment. Hold your horses for a moment. We do not know how to contain this superintelligence. No one is holding any horses.
Yeah.
And the reason is what? The reason is China. Everybody is afraid that what if China goes there first? So everybody is running like crazy right now with this AI. Whatever will come out of it, we will see it. It will come. If you ask me one suggestion for people, then my suggestion is buy popcorn. Buy popcorn. You're gonna need it. It will be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. Yeah, so Indrek, nice to meet you. Where people can find you where they want to learn more.
I have my website at seppo.ai, seppo.ai, and you can book a meeting with me just there on the website.
Excellent. So great having you here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for listening this episode. As a gratitude for our work, subscribe, share, and see you in the next one.